Greetings, I'm Shashank Mishra with eminent senior advocate of Supreme Court of India, Subodh Markandy. In this small lecture, we will be discussing on important step of live streaming the proceeding of Supreme Court of India. In democracy, by rule of law, principle of open court, hearing and delivery of judgments and orders in open court is very well established. Live streaming of courts proceeding is just an extension of that principle. So, how has the live streaming of court proceeding evolved in the Supreme Court of India? Can you elaborate on that, sir?
So the first landmark event in this revolution was the judgment delivered by the then Chief Justice of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, who accepted the plea for live telecasting of the Supreme Court of India's important proceedings before the Constitution Bench as a pilot project. The judgment proposed specific exclusions. There were two which were suggested of the sensitive cases relating to matrimony and sexual harassment. The catch sentence of the judgment was sunlight is the best disinfectant. The next landmark event was the speech of Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, who was speaking at an event of the All India District Legal Services Authorities. He said that in the world of accountability, shedding of opposition to the modern methods of communication is important to reach out to the masses to earn their respect. Then on 26th of August 2022, the Supreme Court live streamed a short ceremonial proceeding of the Chief Justice's Court on the last day of the tenure of the outgoing Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana. But the next concrete landmark was that the full court meeting of the Supreme Court of India held on 28th of September 2022 took specific decision to live stream the proceedings of the Supreme Court of India through YouTube and TV channels. To start with, the live streaming was to be limited to the Constitution Bench cases. So immediately thereafter, after the decision was taken, trial runs were made by the Registry of the Supreme Court to ensure that the live streaming is without any obstruction or difficulty. The technical support teams worked very, very hard. And in the matter of days, uh, within less than a week, the on the trial courts, on the trial runs succeeding, the first live streaming of the proceedings of three Supreme Court benches sitting in court numbers 1, 2, and 3 was held on 27th September 2022. On the first day, the Constitution Bench sitting in the Chief Justice's Court, presided over by Chief Justice of India Umesh Lalit, heard the EWS quota case. In court number 2, the Constitution Bench, presided over by Justice Dr. Dhananjay Chandrachud, heard the case relating to the claims as to who is Shiv Sena, the famous political party of Maharashtra. This is a contest between two factions of Shiv Sena, one headed by the present Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, and the other by the former Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. The third Constitution Bench was presided over by Justice Sanjay Krishna Kaul, and it was hearing the case of constitutionality of the Bar Council of India's pre-enrollment test. On the second day of live streaming, there was no Constitution Bench sitting in court numbers 1 and 2, but Constitution benches were sitting in court numbers 3 and 4. The first constitution bench sitting in court number 3, presided over by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, it continued the hearing of the case relating to the pre-enrollment test of the Bar Council of India. The Constitution bench sitting in court number 4, presided over by Justice S. Abdul Nazir, heard the case of demonetization of currency, which earlier it was thought to be, having become infructuous. But they have decided to hear that case and other cases. That was in progress. On the third day of live streaming, two constitution benches were sitting in court numbers 3 and 5. So these were presided over by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Justice K.M. Joseph. So the bench presided over by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul continued the hearing of that same case of Bar Council of India about its pre-enrollment test. Justice, that is the Constitution bench presided over by Justice K.M. Joseph, that heard the case of WhatsApp and constitutional validity of the selection process of the members of the Election Commission of India. So the live streaming of the constitution benches of Supreme Court has attracted a very wide viewership. On the first day, about 8 lakhs. As the official communique of the Supreme Court of India put it, it's a historic step. Yes, it is indeed a historic step.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.